Hi, I'm Jon Fuller and I'm standing in the Southend West constituency for the Green Party at the coming general election. Today I'm in central Southend at the Storehouse Food Bank. I'm here to answer some questions that people have been putting to me about what we, the Green Party, stand for. The surge in Green Party membership has quite rightly brought us under the spotlight. Naturally, the media has challenged us on some of our policies, and including some juicy stuff like on the monarchy, immigration and even on prostitution. I want to talk about that. For many decades, the Labour Party had Clause 4, a policy which committed it to dismantling capitalism. While the Labour Party knew it wouldn't do that, Clause 4 nevertheless said a lot about old Labour's heart and its direction of travel. Of course, Clause 4 was abolished by Tony Blair, and some people would say that that was when the party began to lose its compass. The Green Party is also a mature party. We've had many decades to formulate our policy and ensure people know what our direction of travel is. Our policies are an honest way of telling people what we believe in, but what we expect to achieve over the next 5 years is a different matter. We are a pragmatic party. We set out in our manifesto, which will be published in March, what we expect our MPs to achieve over the next 5 years. So, what's this about our monarchy? Many of us in the party argue that if we have a head of state, shouldn't it be elected? And shouldn't we have the protection guaranteed by a written constitution? Yes, we do want a modern democracy with an elected second chamber, not a House of Lords packed with cronies. So the charge is true. We are Democrats in favour of elections. But over the next 5 years, our priority will be to join with other mature democracies and have a fully elected second chamber. Now, what of immigration? Yes, we do want a world where there are no wars over oil and no people are forced out of the countries by wars to get resources for rich nations. With fewer wars, fewer people feel the need to flee their own homelands and they can stay amongst their own families and friends. Most of those fleeing to the UK, seeking asylum, do so because they are desperate, willing to risk death to get away from a war-torn homeland. No, we don't want open borders, the media got that bit wrong. But we do want humanity to be shown to those who are desperate. The UK has signed up to international conventions on providing safe haven for those in fear of their lives, and we will honour those commitments. In a just world, people would feel safe to stay in their own communities, in their own nations. Our policies make it clear that that is what we want to achieve. But if someone poses a threat to our national security, then no, we do not have an open door. No, they cannot come in. There will be checks. Finally, what's this about prostitution? No, we are not in favour of prostitution, but we will not do anything that makes life more difficult for desperate women. We will not criminalise the purchase of sex, and we will support legalisation of the trade. We try not to moralise, nor be authoritarian or judgmental. Instead, the Green Party will offer the only exit strategy that has ever worked. And that is to end poverty. Here behind me is one of the town's food banks. Nearly 1 million people in the UK depended upon a food bank to survive last year. Yet the super rich are getting fantastically richer. In 2008, the richest 2,500 people in this country had as much wealth as the poorest 5 million people. Despite the financial crash, by 2014, the richest 2,500 people had as much wealth as the poorest 8 million people. The truth is, the super rich are hoovering up most of the wealth, while many people here have to go hungry or do desperate things. In January, the Archbishops of Canterbury and York called upon all political parties to tackle grinding inequality and the injustice of poverty. The Green Party will rise to that challenge. We aim to introduce a wealth tax and introduce a living wage for all. A wealth tax of between 1 and 2% of those with assets over £3 million would raise between £21 billion and £43 billion per annum, helping the nation to balance its budget and making room for assistance to small businesses to pay the living wage to people. Now let's be clear, the Green Party is the only party that will end austerity politics. Labour has promised to adhere to the Conservatives' austerity plans for the first full year if it is elected. The Lib Dems are also committed to austerity politics. And UKIP would increase hardship further by destroying many of the 1 million jobs that have so far been created in the green economy. So, if you don't want more austerity, driving desperate people to do desperate things, if you don't want hundreds of thousands more people turning to food banks, if you want a country that works for everyone, not just the super rich, then join us. Our priorities over the next 5 years will be your priorities, like saving the NHS. Like prostitutes, the whole nation needs an exit strategy from austerity and poverty. The Green Party is our exit strategy.